Greetings, fellow Imagineers. Blue Dragon 5 here, hosting an out-of-this-world edition of Epic Universe Debates in honor of the official opening of the new theme park. Tonight's topics: most anticipated portal, most impressive animatronic. What should the next Epic Universe IP be? Without further delay, pack some mushrooms, grab a magic wand, and hold on to your flying, faithful companion as you walk through the Emerald Portal to the arena. In this corner, like a true Viking, he gave up a leg to afford entry to Epic Universe. Full of gourmet mushrooms and enough theme park fandom to make the Dark Universe monsters quake in their little boots. It's Tiki!
Dragon, I'll be your pizza moon.
Okay, in the opposing corner, friend to all manner of Yoshi and Dragon alike, but not Shatnerian pig puppets. Summon the angry mob and call Brendan Fraser. It's PerGron!
Hello. Yeah, I do hate that fucking puppet.
Do you hate the puppet specifically because he wouldn't give you your cup of coffee?
Part of it.
All right, and joining me behind the magic curtain, it's Jacob Weil and Rohit Dar.
Hello. I was once an advocate, now I am the judge.
He failed upwards.
Oh, jeez.
God.
Not a strong start this time, aren't we?
So, how we doing, everybody?
Honestly, I am legitimately excited. Like, we've seen Epic Universe, like, through all the previews and stuff. I'm excited and nervous to see opening day, which, not to date the podcast, but it's 2 days from now, guys. It's 2 days from now. The park's going to be open to the general public, and I'm excited.
2 days from the date of streaming.
Gonna open it to the riffraff.
Yes.
All right. A little refresher on the rules. So, as per usual, we have three main rounds in which you're going to reveal your pick, give your opening statement, and then fight it out. Of course, you will fight it out until you hear this sound. R2, you're in the wrong theme park. When he speaks, it'll be time to deliberate. That means we on the judges panel, we will cast our vote for who made the most compelling argument. Whoever gets the most votes gets the point for that round. And at the end of 3 rounds, I'm going to award you both a little gift. Little money.
Oh, boy.
We get money.
Yes, you do. It's going to be the Universal Euro.
I was hoping you were going to call it the Constellation coin.
Well, you know what, Tiki? Jacob worked long and hard on the Universal Euro, so you really hurt his feelings. I want you to know that. I mean, he's going to be crying himself to sleep because you've said
I'm
that.
sorry.
How can you be so insensitive?
Constellation
He spent night and day coming up with that, and you just tarnished it.
No,
with
it's
your
a
little
good one.
constellation.
I guess
You just said his idea sucked in front of all these people, in front of his peers.
It is relevant because Universal is building a park in Europe, so good job, Jacob. I applaud you.
The alternate title was Portal Peso.
Yes, that's true.
All right.
But apparently not good enough for Tiki, though.
Well, that would have tied more directly to Epic Universe, so I don't know. Universal Euro's fine. It's fine.
Okay, he's lying through his teeth, but it's fine. Okay. So, of course, the way it works, optional feature of the little game. You will be awarded this coin at the end of 3 rounds. If you opt to flip it, lands heads, yay, you get a point. Lands tails, well, that's life. That's a gamble. You lose a point. Gone. Out of here. Bye-bye. Thanks for playing.
Bye-bye.
Yep.
I thought the exact same thing.
You get nothing. You
Good
lose.
day,
Good day, sir.
No,
You're
that's
an
not the
inhuman
bye-bye.
monster. I said good day.
But we
No,
will bore you with what PerGron.
This is a much worse bye-bye.
I know.
I was thinking more like Mindy and Buttons, like, bye-bye, I love you.
And of
Even
course,
worse than that, Dragon.
Thinking of Lin-Manuel Miranda's best song ever.
PerGron, I think you should acknowledge your fan.
Hello, yes, LEB, thank you for always being here in my corner. LEB's the one who, like, every time I'm down a couple points, gets there, like, hits me with the water, wipes the blood, and always there for me. And I appreciate your support.
I think LEB's a saint for having such low standards.
Jeez.
Man, Dragon, what's in your coffee?
Yeah, Dragon is seriously just like firing strays left and right tonight.
It's more like it's like she's the Adrian to his Rocky in this.
There you go.
I was more thinking she was the Clint Eastwood to his Hillary Swank.
Yes,
Don't go breaking your neck on any chairs, PerGron.
Don't
tell me
bite,
what to
don't
do.
bite your tongue.
that works too. But
Anyways,
Anyway,
continue,
you're the
Dragon.
people's champ.
well, he was. Well, he was. Boy, he cracked his neck on that chair, but you know.
All right, come on, Dragon.
Okay, so there is a penalty phrase, starting now. Could be a person, could be a place, could be a thing, could be a phrase, could be something just to reference Laser Dude. I don't know.
Pizza Moon?
Maybe.
All right.
Anyway, so of course you say if you enact the penalty phrase, let's say consequences, cyclical consequences are to follow.
I'll be keeping an ear out for if you say the secret word.
Yes, Jacob's praying for it.
And I'm the one who doles out the punishment.
Yes. All right. So after the
And last time I didn't get to punish anyone. So
You sound very angry about that, like you're bloodthirsty now.
there's bloodlust for sure.
Well, I'm
Believe
definitely
that.
eager now.
Jacob's a bloodthirsty little son of a gun. I'll tell you.
Especially considering
Look
last time,
who's
Tiki,
talking,
you were
man.
especially considering Tiki, last time you were one of the judges and you kept saying one of the words over and over.
Oh, that's true.
So
So some of us better be careful.
so let's just say I'm aching to punish this time.
All right.
All right. So after the main round, we enter the speed round, in which audience, yes, you, audience,
Currently seemingly only LEB, but
and the Force, but LEB.
Dragon, is the hidden coin retired at this point?
Well, I don't want to say retired, but it's laying in wait.
Okay.
But I don't think you like the hidden coin anyway.
I do like the hidden coin.
Okay.
but good, Dragon, continue.
So we're taking audience questions, which folks, if you submit some questions for the speed round, we'll be inclined to use them. And dear God, please don't leave us. Stick around, because later on, if we use said speed round question, you get to judge it. You get to decide who made the more compelling argument, who gets the point, can separate the men from the boys, and the winners from the losers, people's champ from the people's chumps. Who knows?
And even LEB's knows they have very aggressive air in the arena tonight.
It's staggering. Of course, name of the game, first to 5 points wins. Gentlemen, do you understand these rules as I've explained them to you both here this fine, aggressive evening?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yep.
Good. Let's cue a randomizer.
All right, bro. Let me just switch to the tab and then. Boom. As you can see, the names listed in alphabetical order. We will see who goes first. Nothing changed to PerGron.
All right.
Total stagnancy.
Changes.
I don't think it's ever changed when I'm in.
Well, sometimes, who knows?
Well, we could do it 7 times, but
Well, we'll see. Well, let's not do it this time.
Okay.
All right, so ready for round 1?
Round number 1.
All right.
So ready.
Sorry. Oh, there we go.
Which Epic Universe portal should be most anticipated? PerGron.
I said Dark Universe, the Universal Monsters area.
Tiki.
I have How to Train Your Dragon, the Isle of Berk.
Not to be confused with writers from Berk.
Oh my god, yes.
I have yet to actually watch that show.
That's good.
That's
All right. PerGron.
Yeah. So I went with the Universal Monsters Land Dark Universe, because to me it kind of embodies an idea that Universal has done really well for most of their time as a theme park, which is the horror side of things. When we think of like genre as a land in most parks, horror gets the shaft. It rarely pops up, and for understandable reasons, it's not exactly the most family friendly genre, and places like Disney and Universal are for kids and families. But I think having something like the Universal Monsters, which are less scary, less gory than a like Michael Myers slasher movie or a something like that, it's a really good piece of horror media to put into the park. And I also think it's a really successful take on Universal's history. Universal kind of blew up on the monsters, so being able to feature them in a land of their own at the newest park, I think, is really genius. The attractions both look very good. The food and the restaurant looks really good. The walk around characters that we've seen with the Invisible Man and Igor both are super funny and super engaging. So yeah, while it doesn't necessarily have the animatronics out in the park that the dragons have, I think it makes up for that in the theming and the character interactions that have been around, as well as having a pretty premier attraction that everything I've seen looks truly amazing.
All right, Tiki.
Yeah, so I think on paper it makes a lot of sense to have Darkmoor, aka Dark Universe, be your most anticipated portal. I think it's certainly the IP that stands out the most in the park lineup. But when you're looking pound for pound at what is actually there, I think the only thing that Darkmoor has going over Isle of Berk is the fact that it does have that e-ticket. But as an actual land, I just think that Isle of Berk has so much more to offer. None of the rides are like the biggest headliners in the park, but I have heard across the board that at least the Hiccups coaster is like on par with all the other like it's basically a more tame version of Hagrid's, which is one of the best family coasters in the world. There's so much kinetic energy in the land. Yes, obviously I'm going to bring up the animatronics. That's a big part of it. But just beyond the animatronics, this to me is the land that, like, it was designed specifically for just like that all immersive quality when you first walk in and get that grand reveal of the lake and the coaster going through it and the tower in the distance. This is the land that I am just going to want to vibe in and hang out in the most. It's got a world-class coaster. It's got a pretty decent flat ride that I'll admit that flat ride is probably the thing I'm least looking forward to in the whole park. But it does have the park's only water ride, which is very valuable in a summer day in Orlando. And it's got one of two shows. And this show in Isle of Burke is definitely, by all accounts, I've heard is the better of the two sit-down shows at Epic Universe. So at the end of the day, I really feel like you're fighting against the big e-ticket, which is fair. But I just think Isle of Burke is so much more well-rounded. And Isle of Burke does have those animatronics and the character interactions. I feel like the character interactions in Isle of Burke are just as robust as they are in Darkmoor. You've got the twins walking around, and I love how the twins are walking around representing Fire Drill. I think that's a great bit of land synergy. You got Gobber. You got Hiccup. You got Astrid. There's so many different characters, and also the animatronics. We don't know how much we're going to see of Hook Fang, the flying dragon that we've seen testing, but my God, if they can make it so that Hook Fang even has one flight per day, forget about it. This is a place that you're going to want to be in Epic Universe. PerGron, I have critiques about Dark Universe. I have critiques about the land design, but I'll save it for the actual debate. Suffice to say, while I'm certainly excited for Monsters Unchained, I'm not necessarily excited for the land itself, and we'll get into that. So, yeah. I'm done.
All right, fight out.
That was the most casual way I think I've ever heard it.
Yeah, just try to kill each other. You can do it.
Curse of the Werewolf is unanimously like one of the worst attractions, at least as far as sightlines go, and that's my big problem with Darkmoor as a land, is that you've got the castle, which is very, very aesthetically awesome. Don't get me wrong. I'll even point out for you, I think it's awesome that at night the lightning strikes the castle and it goes all haywire and stuff. But the area around Curse of the Werewolf, with all the netting and stuff, it basically looks like a regional theme park. Curse of the Werewolf feels like a regional theme park attraction. By all accounts, that whole corner of the land is it's a black mark on the whole park, I think. So that's my main argument against Darkmoor.
Yeah, I mean, I'll admit it looks a little Six Flaggy in that specific area, but I mean, this might just be my take. But yeah, I think Velocicoaster does a similar thing. I think Hulk does a similar thing. I think having a coaster out in the open just kind of inherently feels regional, because when I think of theme park, I think of the really high intense theming, and having a coaster just kind of visible to me screams like SeaWorld Busch Gardens less than it does Disney Universal. So I don't really take that as a knock against this land, because I think it's just something that, as a theme park snob that I am, it's kind of just, I would critique that pretty much anywhere. Like I'm an Everest guy more than I am
Even something like Velocicoaster, you've got the paddocks. Like if you've actually been on Velocicoaster, that whole ride, it does not feel like you're just going through a Six Flags coaster. Like the first half, you're going through the raptor enclosure and you're seeing the statues of the raptors and you're going by them so fast that it doesn't even matter that they're not animatronics. And then the second half of that ride, yes, a little bit more out in the open, a little bit more coastery, but it's like the most glorious second half of a coaster ever. So it doesn't matter. And it does interact really well with the lagoon. Whereas with here, I feel like they literally just built essentially like a roller coaster tycoon spinning coaster, plopped it in the corner of the park. Like it doesn't have the majesty. Even something like Incredible Hulk does have the gamma cannon that kind of looms over the rest of the land. And Incredible Hulk is just like a high octane attraction that it literally roars through the land, which that roar does kind of add to the thematic immersion of it being a Hulk coaster. And Marvel Superhero Island is not supposed to be like a thematically cohesive environment in the same way that Darkmoor is.
Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest criticism against Isle of Burke is that ultimately it kind of just is a kiddie land. Um, yeah, the attractions seem fine and the theming's good. But I think if we're looking at it from like the layman's perspective, like people who are paying the $100, $100+ it is to get in every day, I don't think there's as much value there. Like for a theme park nerd like one of us, I think yeah, I can see an argument where this would be like the most exciting. But for the average person, I think it's going to be like, oh, do we want to go on the kiddie coaster? Or do we want to go on the big scary werewolf coaster?
Okay,
Um,
to be fair, I strongly think that the layout of the werewolf coaster is more of a kiddie coaster layout than the hiccup coaster. People know what the hiccup coaster is. It's a family coaster, but ain't nobody gonna look at that layout and think it's a kiddie coaster, my friend.
I don't know. I feel like just the by proxy of it being based on an animated thing, and I'm not saying this is a knock against it personally. I'm saying just from the average person's perspective. Oh, that's the cartoon land. We don't need to go to cartoon land. Let's go to Harry Potter and wait 900 minutes for this one attraction.
Fantasyland is by far the most popular land
Yeah,
in
because
the
it's
original
Disney.
Disneyland.
Because it's Disney, and when like Dad from Topeka, Kansas, brings his family out, they're like, "Yeah, we're going to Disney World." They call Magic Kingdom Disney World, right? And they walk in and they're like, "Yeah, here's where the princess shit is, and that's what we're here for."
But in your argument for the kids stuff, I will argue that I actually think that Nintendo is probably the magnet for kids. Like, yeah, Nintendo is a little bit more all ages, but by all intents and
Nintendo's such a
purposes, I think that land is going to be where a lot of the families go, just because of the interactive elements and stuff.
honestly, I think Isle of Burke will be the least populated of the portals because ultimately I do think that Mario has Mario as an IP, Monsters has Monsters, and Harry Potter has Harry Potter. I think How to Train Your Dragon is kind of stuck with this like younger millennial, elder Gen Z kind of crowd that has nostalgia for the movie, but kind of nobody else really cares about it. Where I think Monsters, I gotta defend Monsters a little bit. Where I think it's really strong and where it really thrives is, of course, in that e-ticket. I mean, some of the most fluid, amazing animatronics ever put out. Right, these make like the Shamana songs at Navi look like absolute dog shit. These are some of the
But
most
PerGron, this is not a debate about what attraction should we be most looking forward to, and that I think is the inherent flaw of saying either Ministry of Magic or Darkmoor, is that I feel like Darkmoor and Ministry of Magic both hinge so much on their experiences, on their e-tickets, that
well,
if that e-ticket goes down, the whole land is essentially worthless. If
there's
the
also
hiccup coaster goes down at Isle of Burke, you still have all those animatronics, you still have the character interactions, you still have a couple
but there's
supplementary attractions.
there's character
you have the
interactions at
theater show.
Darkmoor, and there's more iconic character interactions. If you ask somebody, "Hey, who's that?" They know the Bride of Frankenstein. They know the Invisible Man. Nobody knows who the fucking Gobber is.
Dragon knows who Gobber is.
I'm sure Dragon does, and I'm sure you do, and I do. But like Joe Schmo is not going to know who the hell Gobber is.
You know who
Not
people?
gonna know who
You
the
know what
twins
people
are.
know who a character? People know who Toothless is. All right, Toothless is is practically the mascot of all of DreamWorks animation at this point, more than Shrek is. I
No,
think.
it's Shrek. It's still Shrek.
Okay, fine, it's still Shrek, but still, but Toothless is still an icon.
And
like,
so people are gonna wait what, an hour to meet a puppet?
But there's other chances to see Toothless in the land. I mean, you can see him on the coaster, you can see him in the theater show. Like, there's other stuff. Like, and that's my point. Is I really feel like as a land, Isle of Burke, there's so much to it. There's a lot of depth there. There's the food. I mean, the food in Darkmoor looks good for sure, but like people are going crazy over those mac and cheese cones. Like the mac and cheese cones.
Yeah, the mac and cheese cones have been at Cars Land for fucking ever. It's not
right,
that
people are saying these mac and cheese cones are a lot better, my friend.
Cool. They won't be in 3 months
Yeah,
when they have to make everything way more in mass.
I don't know, man. Look, I had a really, really great
universe.
experience walking around when there was a thunderstorm at Islands of Adventure the last time I was there. There was a thunderstorm. Pretty much every ride there was down that I wanted to go on. So I just walked around, and you know what land I ended up in that I just totally vibed with, and it was legitimately one of the most magical theme park moments of my life. Seuss Landing. And I think Isla Burke is essentially Seuss Landing on steroids. Seuss Landing might not be everyone's favorite land at Islands of Adventure, but Seuss Landing plays a very pivotal role in that park and its lineup.
I think ultimately it comes down to theme park nerd versus what's the most exciting for the average person. And I think,
but again, your argument kind of hinges on just the fact that you've got a cool e-ticket. Whereas
we've got a cool e-ticket. We've got
quality of the land.
We've got a giant restaurant, the Steakhouse, which is hilarious because it's vampire themed. It's called the Steakhouse. That's amazing.
Excuse me. Did you just call it the Stakeout? It's the Steakhouse.
It's Steakhouse. Sorry.
Steakhouse, yes.
We have a giant windmill that catches fire. We love a good fire effect.
You honestly could have led with that. It took you this long to get to that.
Well, I wanted to save my golden goose, all right? We have a giant fire that erupts. People love a fire. Look at Diagon Alley. They love a fire. Look at Rainforest Cafe. They love a fire, right? So a giant windmill that catches fire. There's the makeup show that has been a staple of Universal for ages. And now it's hanging out in a Monsterland. There's the meet and greets. There's Monster Hunters out and about. There is the e-ticket. There's also the roller coaster. I think there's plenty to offer here. And yes, the e-ticket is going to be the most popular. The e-ticket is the most popular everywhere you go. The most popular attraction at Epcot right now is Guardians of the Galaxy. Does that diminish the fact that you can go watch the American Adventure? No, it's all in the same park, and I think it all benefits itself. Being in the same land, having an e-ticket, yeah, but there's other things. You still want to be able to see other things.
There's so much less there compared to Burke, though. I mean,
maybe
okay, that's it.
Okay,
done. All right.
Oh no, Kogias, that take on the How to Train Your Dragon movies is not popular. Definitely not.
All right, Jacob, what say you?
Wait, sorry, I forgot I was muted. But I have to say this is definitely both interesting picks, but I think I'm going to go with Tiki.
All right. Thank you, Jacob.
You're welcome.
All right. I'm really torn. I think some really good arguments were made on both. This is actually a really strong one.
Yeah, good fight, PerGron.
Yeah, good fight.
I think they kind of flip-flopped a couple times, though, because initially I was thinking, initially I thought PerGron had Tiki's number, but then, again, I think there was a lot of really good points made for How to Train Your Dragon, but then I think PerGron really turned it around at the end by listing off. He actually talked about his attraction, which is kind of what I was looking for. And I think Tiki kind of bit himself in the end by calling him out, like, and you waited to use your golden goose this long? But I think ignited his fire and talking about like the windmill fire. How people love fire, and admittedly, it does sound like a really bad idea for the Rainforest Cafe to have fire. But
well, to be fair, that's the volcano in the exterior.
Okay, well, I mean, still, kind of like a fire in the rainforest is a good.
No, you're right. The optics of that actually aren't great now that I think about it.
Well, fire's super important. It's just when it gets out of control.
Right.
The point being, by a narrow margin, as many good points as I think Tiki made, I do think PerGron really came in with the save at the end. So I'm going to say PerGron gets the point for me.
Fair.
All right. Judge Dar, what say you?
Rohit.
Muted, Rohit.
Well, he might be muted for a reason. You might be working on a case. He's a judge. He's a very busy judge. Here there, he's there's more adultery, but
I hope everything's okay with Rohit.
This is concerning.
He got pulled over.
He's reminding the officer of his legal standing in the community, and when that's not working for him, he's making a very 1%er threats. All right, what comments do we have while we build anticipation over the tiebreaker?
It's like apparently Nelly B doesn't know who Gobber is. He's the Craig Ferguson character from How to Train Your Dragon.
Yeah.
basically one of Stoic's right hand, basically Stoic's right hand man.
Which
Well,
is funny 'cause he
wait,
doesn't
you
have a
have-
right hand.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean. He doesn't have a foot either.
All right, Rohit.
Nope.
And
Still-
apparently,
still
LEB does like the Rainforest Cafe.
Who doesn't? It's like themed Applebee's. It's awesome.
It's okay. You know, I think once you do it once, you're kind of good. You know.
I've done it. I have done it like only once.
See, you know, you go there, you have a dessert, you walk out. You know,
Have I ever been to any outside of the one in San Francisco that's no longer there, and the one at downtown Disney in California that is no longer there? I don't think so.
I didn't go to that one, but there is. I didn't go to the one I'm about to mention, but there is still one in Disney Springs.
Hmm. That's the one with the volcano fire.
Yep.
We used to
I'm
have
like
one in
90% sure that my grandma and I popped into the one at Animal Kingdom just to have a drink before the after hours party. Yeah,
I've been to
definitely think that happened.
I've been to the one in Massachusetts where Paul Blart Mall Cop was filmed. And now it's closed, and that one is tragic because it closed like 3 days before I got my license.
Regan, is there like a, can you like message Rohit or something?
I've done that already.
Okay.
This is concerning.
Very concerning. I would say keeled over, but I mean, I don't think he'd have the decency to mute himself before that happens. But,
Right.
You know.
Huh.
It's like he knows he's muted, so I'm just wondering what's going on.
I imagine it's for a good reason. It's just very ill-timed.
Well, if it takes a couple more minutes, we can just turn to the comments, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think that's really fair though when you have LEB in the comments. I mean,
Well, we have Code Geass too, so it's balanced.
yeah.
Code Geass hates everything, so that's fair on all fronts.
Oh my god. Okay, you must be trolling with that Paul Blart thing. You must be trolling. I legitimately do not believe that you're not trolling right now.
Commentators are great, says Theme Park Priest.
We do not know. Okay, you know what? Since there's a few people in the comments, do you want to just now got okay, well he can't. You're useless to us, Eli. No, I'm just kidding. God damn.
Do we want to flip a coin for it?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, as a decision, you both have to kind of turn the key on to actually okay the coin because you're both tied right now.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we can flip a coin.
All right. Well, thank you, Rohit. We're gonna flip the coin.
All right, so all right, so how do you guys want to do this?
Well,
Right,
since I have the eyebrows avatar, can I be heads?
I have a bird and they have tails, so I'll be tails.
Perfect.
Okay, works for me. So Tiki is heads, PerGron is tails.
Yeah.
So here goes.
Chicken Little or the eyebrows?
Eyebrows!
What a wonderful night for eyebrows!
Speaking of so that the coin dictates that Tiki gets the point.
Oh man.
Well earned.
Okay. Hold on. 1 second. Dragon, do you want to advertise some of the exciting stuff we have coming up this week?
Well, as a matter of fact, I'd love to. So, folks.
LEB would have voted for Tiki anyway.
That's fair. I also would have voted for Tiki.
Well, anyway, yeah. So,
Private chat.
anyway, so folks, this Thursday we are continuing with our Miyazaki coverage, in which we're covering kind of volume 2 of the 3-part kind of journey that is covering all of Hayao Miyazaki's work. It actually has a theme song. It goes like this: Hayo, 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 Miyazaki go. Hayo, Hayo, Hayo. It's a jaunty tune, really.
It is, yes.
But yeah, so that is so we're doing Ponyo this Thursday, and there's the penultimate installment for this year. You know, this Miyazaki month. So look forward to that. And of course, we got Phineas and Ferb. We're getting close to new season starting.
When we're nearing the end of the original run.
Oh,
Yes,
Yep.
it's only taken years, but we're there.
We started in January of 23.
Yep. And of course, you know, I mean, giving that next week is kind of nearing the end of May. You know, you can expect movie memoirs around the corner.
Yep. If Ponyo had a portal at Isle of Berk, you know, the most popular thing for people to get, it wouldn't be the e-ticket. It would just be a line for the ham.
So much ham.
Seriously, a Ponyo land with like a ham food item would be that would just be like pure influencer bait.
I'm gonna throw you. Okay,
Ponyo loves ham.
I would love just to see John Hamm wearing a Ponyo shirt. I just
Oh my
want to throw it out
God.
there. just with a big smile, just like he opens like the button-up shirt or something. He's like, "Look, I ham Ponyo" or something. I don't know.
Oh my God, I want to
do you one better. Live action remake, cast John Hamm as Ponyo.
No. Oh my God. Yikes. I don't know.
Well,
I think the optics of that might be a little problematic.
Well, I mean, he does have range. I mean, the man's won Emmys. He can do it. I think he has the ability.
If we can keep casting Scarlett Johansson in these.
Oh my God.
We can cast John Hamm as a little girl from the ocean.
LEB says absolute cinema. Okay, let's see. So guys, we should be getting there he is. We got ourselves a guest judge. We got ourselves a guest judge here, people.
Have
What do you
Eli.
know?
Eli.
I have arrived. Have no fear. I'm
All
here to
right,
help.
thank you, Eli.
I'm glad to, fill in for Roatar. So
So Rohit, we hope you're doing well. Let us know, but like we don't want to interrupt whatever's going on. So let's just plug along, guys. Let's get to question 2.
Good luck with the home invasion, Rohit. Anyway.
Unfortunately, I can't put Eli on the screen right now, so we'll have to.
Just imagine that Eli looks exactly like Rohit Dar. Just imagine that.
Oh God!
I just got my avatar set up. But
imagine it looks like a handsome philanderer. Just imagine that.
All right. So question 2.
What is the single most impressive AA audio animatronic in Epic Universe?
Yeah, I went with the walk around baby dragons using the Boston Dynamics robot at Isle of Berk.
And I went with what I am affectionately calling the dueling Death Eater from Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry.
PerGron, opening statement.
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna look at the animatronics that are the coolest in theme park history, I've always stood by it's the roaming animatronics. It's the ones that walk around. It's the push the trash can. It's the dinosaur one from Animal Kingdom. This name I'm forgetting. Lucy, something like that. Those are they're just iconic. They're beloved. And these ones are not controlled by like a dude like wearing casual clothes hanging out in the area. This is a fully free roaming animatronic. It's super neat. They have personality. They can move on their own. It's not like stuck in one location on a track or something like that. So yeah, I stand by these guys being the favorite. There's like 2 or 3 of them that I've seen at least. So yeah, super, super cool, super impressive. And those are my pick.
Next.
Tiki?
Sorry, I was muted. My bad. The dueling Death Eater at Harry Potter and the Battle of the Ministry. This thing is a showstopper if I have ever seen one, my guy. This thing, across the board, every reaction that I have ever seen to this ride says that when they first see this animatronic, they are convinced that it is a real live actor, not an animatronic. I don't know how much more real you have to get at that point. The movement is so fluid, so dynamic. Not only is the movement fluid and dynamic, but he's also on that moving platform. He's not free roaming per se, but I think as part of a bigger whole, which honestly, my favorite animatronics are the ones that are telling a bigger story. The pirate auctioneer, Abraham Lincoln. I really think Hondo Ohnaka. I really think that those animatronics, to me, the ones that are in that like lived in environment telling the story, those are the ones that are really effective. And this guy, I think, is like the show-stopping moment of the most show-stopping attraction in the park. So yeah, I have to go with him.
All right, fight night. Let's fight.
Yeah, I mean, I think just by you having an animatronic in a ride on a track, I think that is kind of my biggest knock against it. Is it's a pre-programmed animatronic with a series of movements. We've seen that. We've seen it with the Shaman of Songs. We've seen it with Hondo Ohnaka. We've seen it with fucking Benjamin Franklin at the American Adventure, who moves on a track in the exact same way that the Dueling Death Eater does. And if I can compare your animatronic to Benjamin Franklin, it just isn't super impressive to me. Yeah, it's cool. It's neat. I think it's pretty all right. I can think of a handful of animatronics that are better at Epic Universe. I think Frankenstein, for instance, would have been my second pick. I think just having an autonomous animatronic that is able to free roam, interact with guests, this is the way to really get the story of the land. You were talking about when you were defending so valiantly Isle of Berk, you were talking about how the thematic elements and the storytelling is the most important part. And I think having these little baby dragons who are beloved from the third movie, who are adorable, and who use an animatronic system that is able to interact and give these guest experiences. It's like the next step up from the Velociraptor encounter at Jurassic Park. This is the way.
That thing is a puppet, sir. That's not even in the same genre.
I know, but it's the next step up. It's an interactive character that is able to do things. It uses a system that we are familiar with in a really interesting and unique way, where yours is a fluid-looking animatronic on a track that we have seen before, and we've seen done, years ago before this, and it's just kind of the next phase of that kind of genre.
So my big problem with yours is that as cool as what you're laying out is in premise, I ultimately think yours is as much of a tech demo as the Hook Fang flying animatronic is going to be. And realistically, I think the Hook Fang flying animatronic is the most impressive thing. But I didn't pick it because who knows how often Hook Fang is even going to be out. And I can say the same thing about this guy. I think this guy's going to be more consistent than Hook Fang, but we don't know how, is this going to be something that survives, in 2-3 years? I think with the Dueling Death Eater, he's a pivotal part of the attraction. And like I said, he is the wow moment. That first scene where you see him is the first full-scale scene in the ride. And you are just caught so off guard by the scale of everything and by the fact that this guy is basically doing almost full-on parkour type body movements. I think that's more impressive, and that's got more staying power than, I'm sorry, PerGron, what is essentially a souped up robotic pet.
I'm gonna use your.
I'm not even that impressed with this guy's movement. I'm just being honest. I think he's cool in concept, but I think the movement is still a little bit herky jerky. He's not totally fluid like the Death Eater is.
I'm gonna use your argument against you here briefly. My animatronic is going to be around working longer than yours is. We've seen it with Kylo Ren at Rise of the Resistance. We've seen it with the Shaman of Songs. We've seen it. I'm gonna just bring it up again with Ben Franklin. Your animatronic is not long for this world. There is going to be a B mode, and it is going to enter it. I would be surprised if it's more than a year from now.
Okay, well, first of all, with that argument, like Kylo Ren does go into B mode, but they put him in A mode as much as they can. I don't even remember Ben Franklin. Is Ben Franklin in B mode? Is that what's going on with him?
He was for a while. They redid it in a couple years ago.
Okay, fair enough. But I don't know. That is a solid point. And I honestly think both of us have like equally like unreliable, but like my whole thing is like I think that with something like what you have, I don't even think it's the most impressive dragon in the land. I think as far as animatronics go, the meet and greet Toothless is more impressive. I understand that it's not like as technologically groundbreaking, but it's giving you that intimate, once in a lifetime experience. More people know who Toothless is than this guy is. I literally forgot this guy's name. I'm so sorry.
I think the other benefit is there's 3 of them. So if one does go down, there's other options to be able to send them out. If yours goes into B mode, it kind of ruins the attraction. Like your attraction hinges so much on this single animatronic.
That's not necessary. I don't agree with that actually, because I think a lot of what my attraction is the actual movement of the ride vehicle itself. I can tell you that that's why I'm personally excited for Battle of the Ministry, because I don't know what that thing feels like. And after the Dueling Death Eater, yeah, he is a showstopper, but you still do have like the big Rhino Fantastic Beast thing. You've got to. I really don't think that
it goes from a show-stopping animatronic that will enter B mode and into universal screen. We've seen screen a million times. I really don't think that the value of your ride without this animatronic working, and it's working now, so that's not the best argument in the world, I'll admit. But just knowing animatronics and seeing them, I feel like if this was in B mode, the entire ride doesn't work the way it should, where if mine goes into B mode, there's 2 others that are working at least that we've seen. And if he's not out for a little while, it doesn't actively take away from the experience. Where yours, I do think would. I think as someone who doesn't like Harry Potter, someone who has seen the movies once and probably will never revisit any of them, unless I'm unfortunate enough to have a kid that loves them. I have no interest in going on that ride except for your animatronic, and I think that if your animatronic is down or goes down,
you really have no interest in how that thing feels, how it feels to be on an elevator motion simulator that can drop like 2 stories and still have like I don't know, man. I think I really think most of that attraction hinges on the movement, and yes, that animatronic is a big part of it, but I think I think your argument is kind of moot because like much like how if your guys aren't out, there's still a lot of stuff to see in Isla Burke. If this guy's down, yeah, he's a centerpiece, but there's other big show-stopping elements of my ride. I'm just saying from a technological point of view, and again, I will go back to this. Everybody who sees this guy, even if they've seen the promo footage, they always think, oh my god, that guy is actually a live actor. Like I have never in my life as a theme park fan seen that much of a reaction across the board. I have literally not seen anybody who's talked about this attraction not have that exact same comment. That guy looks like a real person. He has the fluidity of a fucking stunt.
Okay, that's it. Done.
Okay. I tried.
All right. Eli.
Yes. Oh, there we go. I mean, they had some pretty good matches, like what they picked and such, and because how very impressive the animatronics have come a long way for Universal. So both are good, and it's tough to choose. I wish it could be, sometimes we wish it could be a tie, but I guess I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna go PerGron.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, Tiki.
No, you're good. You don't have to apologize. It's fine.
No, I'm just saying.
My vote is also for PerGron.
Hmm.
Jacob, just for the heck of it.
Well, just for the heck of it, my vote would also be for PerGron.
Yeah.
Clean sweep.
This was
Yes,
definitely
please.
the one I was the least confident about.
I had not seen your animatronic until right before this started, and I'm
really?
like, holy shit! I
And
need.
I will and I'll admit I didn't get the most flattering picture of it, but there wasn't that much to work with.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that
You know
was
what one I really was considering choosing was
Any
the
one of the
dragon.
monsters?
No, the ice dragon in Isle of Earth.
Oh.
Just because I think it's so
Yeah.
freaking cool that something that advanced is just out in the open like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you don't have to like wait around for it to come out from backstage. It's just there. It's right there.
And sometimes the fact that it breathes cold, frozen stuff.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah. I mean, so I really wish I would have. I think that would have been an interesting debate.
Hmm.
So, anyways, okay.
I just want to point out, LEB did say the funniest thing ever.
An elevator that's like moving in 360 and dropping 20 feet, and yeah, no, I don't think yeah.
But
LEB
the-
sent that chat. I was in the middle of my argument, and I had to fight.
but it's more just like the way it's like imagine being on an elevator.
No, I get that, yeah. And Kogi, yes, I appreciate the support. Honestly, it did not feel good picking something from Potter. I probably should have just, like, for morality's sake, picked something from Darkmoor.
I just like my little dragon guys.
Okay, so right now it's 1-1. It's tied up. Jacob, what's our forecast of Doom looking like?
You didn't even ask them. I remember you didn't even ask the first time around. First
Well,
question,
I would imagine you would have brought it up had it been said.
and it wasn't.
I know, so it hasn't been said this time.
Nope.
Okay.
Damn it! I knew it wasn't going to be Ben Franklin.
Why
No,
would
no.
it be? Why would it be Ben Franklin?
Why wouldn't it be Ben Franklin?
Why
I mean,
wouldn't
I mean,
it? Are you
PerGron-
disrespecting the father of our country?
PerGron- I mean,
not
Per-
like $100 bills.
I mean, PerGron. I mean, if you want.
Yeah, but poor Ben.
No, I'm okay.
Poor Ben Franklin's been through quite a lot recently at Epcot.
Yeah.
PerGron, if you want, I have it ready for you.
Maybe next time. Maybe next time.
Are you
I
sure?
wouldn't piss him off, Peregrine.
Just,
No,
if, you
well,
say, if you say Ben Franklin one more time, I will spin this and you will be punished.
deal.
Same goes for you, Tiki, but
You're not allowed to
Thomas
mention
Jefferson.
the father of electricity.
Nikolai Tesla. All right.
Without Ben Franklin, we wouldn't have animatronics in the first place.
See, unfortunately, we can't punish Eli. But
Okay.
all right.
Why would you? In the first place?
who knows? Who knows? Maybe being with us is punishment enough.
That's true. Okay, that
Enjoyable punishment.
brings us to round 3. Which IP should be the next Epic Universe portal? PerGron.
I went with the Land of Oz, specifically from Wicked.
Tiki.
Where we're going, we don't need roads. I went with Hill Valley 2015 from Back to the Future.
As announced by the Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
All right, PerGron. Desmond.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw Wicked at the first thing I immediately thought when we were exploring Shiz University, especially during the Wizard and I segment of the movie where Elphaba's walking around singing, all I could think is, holy shit, that needs to be a Universal. That needs to be a land at Epic Universe down the line. It is literally built for the majesty and the fantasy. I think it would really capture something that the park is missing right now, which would be something that's a little more aimed at girls, like younger girls, where everything right now is kind of not boy centric, but a little bit boy centric. I think it is an amazing land. It is something that people love. Like, even if you're not like a Wicked guy, everybody knows the Wizard of Oz. I think you could easily have Shiz University and then a yellow brick road out to the Emerald City in that expansion plot, kind of between Isla Burke and Ministry of Magic. So I think that it would be a really brilliant addition. It's obviously very culturally relevant at this moment. But I think Wicked is going to stand the test of time. I mean, it's been a musical since what, like 2003, something like that. So it's gonna stand the test of time. The Wizard of Oz obviously already has, and I think it being a universal property and house as well also puts it above other fantasy stuff like Lord of the Rings or Zelda that I've seen thrown around quite a bit. So I think just the combination of it being a beloved IP, it being a little more focused towards girls, which don't have a lot of representation in the park, and being a beloved and culturally relevant IP, I think it's just kind of the perfect thing, and I'd be shocked if they didn't do it.
Tiki.
Right. So for a theme park that's central concept lies in the stars, lies in the celestials and astrology and stuff, I feel like Epic Universe really needs a Tomorrowland. But let's make that a twist. And I genuinely love how the portal concept of Epic Universe actually makes a Hill Valley 2015 that is wildly inaccurate from the 2015 that we actually got make perfect sense, because we're not going to our 2015. We're going to the Back to the Future universe's 2015. And I love that the portals could just so easily do that. I mean, there's so much about this that I think would just work really well. I think every portal at Epic Universe has like a catchphrase as you enter it. And frankly, the idea of entering a portal that looks like the Hill Valley Clock Tower with like a little DeLorean emblem and the phrase, "Where we're going, we don't need roads." And then like the flames of the DeLorean like in the portal tunnel. I mean, all of that to me just writes itself. As far as attractions go, I think you could have a stand-up coaster themed to the hoverboards. I think that would be a really cool kind of technology. I feel like this park is really big about experimenting with different coasters and stuff. We saw that with Donkey Kong. We could have something like that here. I feel like you could naturally work a Jaws attraction in here with like a Jaws simulator and actually theme it to the gag in the movie. You have the Nostalgia Cafe. You've got all kinds of different iconography. You've got merch opportunities up the wazoo. I just think Back to the Future, like Wicked might stand the test of time. Time, honestly, still has to kind of like, it just came out. Back to the Future, and specifically Back to the Future Part 2, and specifically the Hill Valley 2015 stuff, is genuinely some of the most iconic pieces of sci-fi filmmaking of all time. And everyone misses Back to the Future. I think it's high time that we get Back to the Future back into a Universal park, especially because Stardust Racers already has flux capacitors. So it's like, I feel like from a storytelling perspective, it just makes too much sense. All right.
Fight to the finish, gentlemen.
Yeah, I think that the best part of Back to the Future, all of it comes from Back to the Future Part 1. I think that the second one were kind of it's, I think, less iconic, but also it being a little bit more dystopian. I don't know that that's a place that I or many people would want to visit, especially because we already live in a world where Biff is in charge, and I don't want to see that.
But we're not going back to Hill Valley in the 1980s and the alternate 1980s. This is Hill Valley 2015.
Mm-hmm.
We're not dealing with Biff Tannen here. This is the idealized version of what the future looked like for a whole generation of people. And I just and I feel like as far as like Back to the Future 1 versus 2, Back to the Future 1 is definitely the better movie. I think the Hill Valley 2015 stuff is the most iconic stuff in the whole franchise. It is the most memorable stuff in the whole franchise.
So I just want to quickly pitch the Wicked Land because you pitched the portal and everything. I want to
Go for
quickly give my pitch. I think the portal would be very easy here as well. It would obviously have a yellow brick road through it. I also think that there's a lot of stuff on it that could be really amazing, like the animal artwork that's in the movie of the animals kind of teaching and being part of Oz's culture that we see when Elphaba knocks over the painting and reveals that. I think that would be really cool, and I think obviously the land or the quote, that's the word I was looking for, on the portal could be pretty much anything, but I think everyone deserves a chance to fly is the perfect.
Ooh, I do like that. I'm not going to lie. I do like that.
I also think that there's plenty of opportunity for attractions. You can do flat rides. I think we could easily do a really cool coaster where maybe you're sitting on a broomstick, which I think would be a super cool, like, kind of evolution of like a Hagrid's. I'm not quite sure entirely how you do it, but some sort of straddling a bike style flying coaster would be super cool. Obviously, I think a dark ride is a possibility. I think a dance kind of show out in the street where like all the characters are singing and dancing and doing the books and everything. I think a restaurant in the library with the rotating walls would be fucking amazing. Obviously, the character interactions with Elphaba, with Galinda. I think you could even use the animatronic stuff to do the goat, which would be really cool. And a show, like a stage show with Oz the Great and Powerful, with that giant puppet would be amazing. So I think there's a lot of iconography. There's a lot of stuff that you can do within two like little sublands of Shiz University with a walkthrough where you go through the cave and you see the big wizard face that you see. And then also having the Emerald City there is like a really iconic, and that's where the e-ticket would be. Right. Defying Gravity is a perfect name for a coaster anyway.
So my problem with your pitch essentially is twofold. First of all, like it's a magical thing that takes place in a school, and that's what Potter is. And I understand the Potterland, like we're not actually at the school for the Potterland, but people associate Potter with Hogwarts. And I feel like if they were going to put Wicked into Epic Universe, they would have just put Wicked into Epic Universe and not put in a third Potterland. I feel like my attraction stands out. Like you do, I will give you this. You do have a good argument that Epic Universe does need more female-centric stuff, and I can't argue that. But again, I feel like the Epic Universe needs a Tomorrowland. All the other lands are kind of either rooted in like fantasy, in the case of Nintendo, or in the other three cases are rooted in just like the distant past with, you know, like the 1800s with Darkmoor, the Viking times with How to Train Your Dragon, and then like the 1930s, I believe, is where Wizardry Paris is. So like, I think that tomorrow, like like I said, I feel like Hill Valley 2015, like you don't have to put any context into the alternate history 1980s that's in that movie. 2015 Hill Valley is the optimistic, ideal, bright-eyed, like Walt Disney with his head in the clouds vision of the future. That it's always been that. And I feel like to represent that in Epic Universe would just add such a good flavor. Like I said, that you've got the flux capacitors in the park already. I feel like Doc Brown is almost canonically tied to the portal technology at this point. It just makes too much sense. It just makes, and with Oz, I think my big problem with Oz, besides the fact that we really like, yes, the stage show stood the test of time. Yes, the movie was a hit. We don't know how the second movies go. We know that there's issues with the second act of the play. We don't know how they're going to work them. The second movie could be like an It Chapter 2 situation that just derails the whole thing. We don't know that yet. And also, I just feel like with Oz, Dragon, get your Paige Novak counter ready. Oz muddies the waters because, like, yes, Wicked is a Universal IP, but the Wizard of Oz isn't. And so you have to be really careful threading that needle. And also, Wicked is a very, very, very standalone story set within a very specific time period. With Hill Valley 2015, you don't really need to have any of the events of the movie going on. You don't need to have like, oh, Marty McFly's kids are up to no good. You don't need to have any of that. You just need to live in the idealized optimism of the future, and that's what Hill Valley 2015 represents.
So, Tim.
Okay, done. All right, Jacob.
My vote is going to Tiki.
Right.
My vote, also Tiki.
Oh yeah, I didn't get a follow-up.
Eli,
Eli,
not that
Eli
it
just for
matters.
the heck of it.
Uh-oh.
The great Scott! It will be Tiki as well!
Clean sweep.
All right.
Another clean sweep. This time it's a Tiki clean sweep.
Don't you like it when the streets are nice and clean?
So basically, I love this. I love this debate so far because we had a question that was so
Of course
close.
you do.
It came down to no. I'm just saying we had a question that came down to literally a coin toss. It was so close. Then we had a clean sweep for PerGron. Then we had a clean sweep for me. I think you can't get much more even than that.
Let me
Well,
ask
to be fair, it was only a coin toss because one of the judges has gone AWOL.
Yeah,
Still no word. I don't know.
Hey, let me ask this about the whole
Might
idea.
be weather.
Let me ask about the whole Back to the Future thing because I love it. But would this include rebuilding the Back to the Future ride?
I would say a version of it, yes. I wouldn't just remake it entirely, but especially considering we're probably going to lose the Simpsons ride, and I genuinely do like that ride system as a simulator, like the individual ride vehicles and the big screen. Like, yeah, I would do some version of the Back.
I have one question for you based on that.
Okay.
Do we get the 8-seater DeLorean?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Yes.
Why wouldn't we?
God, I love the 8-seater DeLoreans.
Now, is that still going on? That rumor speculating that The Simpsons is going to go away?
Oh, it's not a rumor. It's absolutely going away.
Really?
I mean, because Universal is going to lose the theme park rights to it.
So I guess
like 2028, right, PerGron?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Oh.
The rumor comes for what's going to replace it, and I've seen Pokemon a lot.
Ooh.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be too bad.
Just don't touch my Men in Black and I'll be happy.
That's a very fair point. Okay.
I can see it. I can see a Pokemon ride working with that system.
I could, yeah.
Like throwing Pokeballs instead of shooting. Or Pokemon Snap the ride.
Just whatever you do, fire on Jigglypuff if it goes a different way. You know?
Yeah, just keep it guns and you have to shoot the Pokemon.
If they go to Men in Black, Brett, that's what you're gonna want to do. But again, we don't want to tamper with Men in Black. I'm just saying.
Well,
But you're right, though. You know, the Simpsons ride would do a lot more, like probably Team Rocket shenanigans. I'm sure.
You know, something new they did do with Back to the Future, like in the very recent years of doing some Back to the Future stuff and in Universal. I'm sure you guys have heard those special like escape rooms that Universal has, and they have one.
Yeah, for sure.
They have one that's Back to the Future theme, and apparently, Christopher Lloyd reprised his role as Doc Brown for that.
Mm-hmm. He did.
I wish footage of that could be on YouTube. That'd be awesome to see.
I'm sure it'll get there eventually. Anyways.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jacob, did we hear anything provocative?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
Oh.
No punishment.
Well, we're just gonna punish him for fun. So let's spin that wheel. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Are you sure, Dragon? Because I can do it.
Let's see if they tick me off. All right.
All right. From now on, punishments not only be dictated by words, but Dragon's mood.
Well, so your mood.
Hey, I'm trying to be fair here.
Okay. So, any comments you want to highlight before moving on to the speed round?
Well, we do have an audience question from LEB. It's like, see, Kogia says, like, I actually think that the third Back to the Future film could actually be the best of the trilogy. Which
Now you see, Kokias, that is a hot take, but that's a reasonable hot take.
That's a fair argument.
Wait, where's PerGron?
He got erased from the timeline. Someone must have messed with something.
Oh, there he is. Thank God.
Who brought? Who brought the almanac?
Okay. All right. LEB's audience question and theme park priest like Tiki's point about connections to the portal.
Yeah, thank you, Priest. Honestly, that to me is like the main reason why I think there should be a Back to the Future representation in Epic Universe, just because I really do think canonically, with the flux capacitors and everything, it just makes sense that Doc Brown would be involved with the portal technology.
And
yeah.
I know this is an obscure pull with the game like Lego Dimensions. I think he's involved in that too.
Uh-huh.
or at least, at the very least, there was like a Back to the Future pack.
Yeah.
And Kogi, honestly, I love Back to the Future Part 3. I love the entire trilogy, but the third one's my favorite. So.
Nice.
Okay, so now that we've reached the end of 3 rounds, I'm going to offer you both a Universal Euro. All right, so PerGron, here's your Euro. You want to flip it?
I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, Tiki, here's yours. Don't
Yeah,
lose
let's
it
do it.
now. He's gonna flip it.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
You can do it.
Oh.
Honestly, secretly, I was kind of hoping for that because I'm having so much fun.
That brings it
Wah,
down
wah.
1-1 for the speed round.
All right.
Is
Okay.
this the lowest score for the speed round?
Probably not. I mean,
It's
probably
been 1-1 before.
and occasionally it's even been 3-0. So
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, but like on both ends.
probably
It's kind of anyone's game right now. Eli,
I mean, there have been shenanigans with like hidden coins and punishments where it's like 1-0 going into the third round.
jeez.
I think. So, all right. So, Dragon, what do you want to do first?
All right, let's. I can tell you what. Let's go for the wheel question.
The wheel question. So, as you all know how this works, we have this wheel, in this case, the Wheel of DreamWorks. And remember, you are stuck with whatever one you get. Are you guys okay with this?
There's not a bad one on here.
No?
Well, it depends on the question, though, doesn't it, PerGron?
You hear the question. Remember, you do hear the question after you get your answer. And since Tiki won the previous round, he gets to choose if he wants to spin first or let PerGron go first.
I'll go first.
All right. So I'm gonna make that full screen just so we'll make it do boom.
All right, rooting for my boy Barry B. Benson.
Thinking deep.
Get Bob.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're gonna have to remember. You're gonna have to remind me who this is.
No, it's not the Sentry. It's the other Bob.
It's Bob from Monsters vs. Aliens.
There you go.
Oh God, one of the
The
ones
Seth
I-
Rogen one.
Yep.
The Seth
Yep.
Rogen. Okay. Oh my God. Wow. That's
You don't like
literally
Bob?
the worst thing I could have gotten.
You don't
All
like
right.
you don't like Bob Tiki?
No, I just haven't seen it, and there's that character doesn't really give me a lot to work with.
You might like Monsters vs. Aliens. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. So Tiki has Bob. Let's see who PerGron gets.
Okay. Who will it be? Oh,
The King of New York City, Alex the Lion.
It
All
just
hail
figures.
the New York Giants.
It just figures that PerGron would get Alex the Lion.
I know, right?
It feels like his spirit animal. You know, very
I was literally about
showboaty.
to say, yeah, spirit animal.
Seth Rogen versus
Ben Stiller.
versus
Which,
Ben
depending
Stiller.
on the era and depending on the mood, Seth Rogen is kind of Tiki's spirit animal. If he watched the studio,
I'm
he would
gonna
absolutely.
pretend you didn't say that.
Well, I say that half jokingly, Tiki, but by the same token, if you watch the studio, he would absolutely be your spirit animal in the best of senses.
I believe that. I need
Seriously, he is you to a T in that show.
to.
But the best of you, he's a better you in that. I don't know.
Blood.
LEB, Bob's not slime. He's a blob.
Blob slime. It's all goop.
He kind of is a slimy thing there.
Right. So what is the question?
Okay, here is the question, because the way it works, spin and win. All right. Who would make the best walk-around character for Epic Universe?
Okay. I can work with that. All right, I'm going first since I spun first, obviously. So honestly, I really do think that a walk-around character that's based off of like a liquid but has like movement in it. So essentially it's like a sack of liquid that you can still hydraulically move around. Like, I think that would be super impressive. It doesn't matter that it's from a kind of mediocre movie. It's just like what matters is the fact that you've got technology that has never been seen before in an animatronic where you're physically moving a mass of water.
We have the technology.
Yeah.
I think Alex the Lion fits thematically kind of brilliantly into Celestial Park. It's kind of got this like circus-y theme. And obviously, as we know in Madagascar 3, Alex joins the circus. That becomes his life. He's a showboat. He loves to be kind of on display. And I think having that within the circus-y theming of Celestial Park would obviously fit really well. I think you could do this a costume character. I also think you could use really neat animatronic to do this. I think he'd be kind of a brilliant character.
Alex is the type of main character in a franchise where he's nobody's favorite character in the franchise. If you want a circus animatronic, Marty is right there. Seth Rogen is by far the thing that sticks out the most in Monster vs. Aliens.
Nothing sticks out about Monsters vs. Aliens. If you had this blob guy, he'd get popped by some kid within an hour, right? I also just don't think thematically he fits that well. Where would he go in? Like he's a
Dark
sci-fi
Universe.
monster. I don't think he'd fit any of the themes.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna cast a vote on this one. I'm gonna say, here's the thing. I think Tiki got too steeped in the technology. Yeah, I think he was purely going. He went off of like liquids, the wonders of liquid technology for the
Dragon,
majority of his-
imagine a Hydro Man animatronic with that technology. I'm saying.
I'm not against. I'm just saying you spent a lot of time talking about it and you only had 30 seconds in that window. Okay, you're talking a lot about it. Okay, you could have done a lot more. Or here's something. Maybe you could have mentioned, hey, monster, where could I possibly put him? That would make sense. You know, what movie is he from? Oh, I don't know. Monsters versus Aliens.
All right. Fair point.
So PerGron gets the point.
I did feel kind of dumb for not mentioning that.
Yeah. Real
Hashtag
quick,
give us Goop Man.
before we move on, Jacob, who did you want? Who were you hoping the wheel would spin on for a choice?
I mean, I didn't really know. If you're referring to what I said earlier, I just think I know that's something a lot of people would want.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, Barry B. Benson, obviously.
Yeah. And I said, and my joking answer was Captain Underpants. I was just saying, I was like, people would want to see Chell.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, they would.
You know what I hope
God,
was?
that's just like straight up sex bot territory.
It was a walk-on character. It didn't say anything about it being an animatronic.
Oh, okay, good. I missed that note. Okay.
Yeah.
If they made Shell into a walk-around animatronic, that would just be like so uncanny valley.
Well, it doesn't all have to be a robot, Tiki.
Like I said, if somebody just walked around, or if it was just somebody in a costume walking around like that, I say people would definitely want that.
Honestly, my hopes were Roz in terms of like the cool factor. I think Roz would have been really neat.
Remind me who Roz is again.
Roz is from the Wild Robot.
Oh right.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Word for Rossum.
Whenever I see Roz, I think
of Monsters Inc.
I know.
I mean, that's what's throwing me off. Like, I've seen a Wild Robot, and I love the Wild Robot.
Yeah, they had a Wild Robot that I think it was Comic-Con or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, but here's the one I really wanted someone to get, but it wasn't in the stars apparently. I thought it would have been really funny if someone got Moses.
Oh my
I was
God.
really hoping Moses would have come up, but it didn't.
That would be a good choice, especially
I would've-
in memory of Val Kilmer.
Oh yeah,
Well, yeah, but it's still like kind of weird.
I know that was the thing. It would have been really funny to see someone argue.
He
I
parks,
wandered over here from Bible Land.
he parks the big fountain.
Let me go get the commandments. I'll be right back.
I would have really wanted to have someone come up with the argument for Captain Underpants.
Dude, again, I would have killed Barry B. Benson, all right?
It would have been funny if you had someone with Captain Underpants and someone with Chell. That would have been perfect.
Like,
And you
I
could've
mean, please, all Barry B. Benson would be people would always walk up to like, you like jazz?
You like jazz. Okay, so let's go with an audience question. Jacob, it looks good.
All right, there's only
from LEB.
one from LEB.
That's the one.
Yes,
All right, so
that's the only one so far.
if you had to, which e-ticket would you cut from Epic Universe?
Bowser's Challenge.
Ministry of Magic.
Ooh.
Tiki went straight away, and PerGron took just.
Well, I mean, you notice I even like affirmed that counted in the comments.
Okay, now remember, Ellie, you're going to judge this, so listening ears. Okay.
Wait, Tiki, what was yours again?
Mario Kart Bowser's Challenge.
Oh, okay, something from the Nintendo. Yeah, okay. So
From Super Nintendo World.
right.
So Bowser's Challenge is literally the only thing in the park that exists as like a 1-for-1 clone. And as far as a Mario Kart ride goes, it's not even that satisfying. I like it more than most people, but that's just because I had a good tutorial on how the gameplay works. I feel like it was a mistake to not kind of rework a Mario Kart attraction, take the criticism that Bowser's Challenge is a very slow-moving ride, and that's not what people want from Mario Kart, and actually make a Mario Kart that moves fast. That was a big mistake.
Ministry of Magic is a really interesting technological achievement that is not going to be very sustainable. I really think it's going to be breaking down a lot. We've seen that with previews. And it's another Harry Potter world. It's another attraction in another Harry Potter land in a third Universal theme park. I just think, who cares at this point? J.K. Rowling has proven to be kind of a piece of shit. I don't think that it's necessary. I think it could have been done with a million other things, and I would cut it happily.
All right, I don't want to bring politics into this, so I'm gonna cut that out. As
Yeah.
far as the actual land, though, the Potter ride is getting like 5-hour-long lines compared to Dark Universe's like 1-hour-long lines. I just think that the demand is there for this.
I think Mario Kart's just such an iconic game. Everyone played Mario Kart. Everyone loves Mario Kart. And I think it has to be there. It's obviously a really popular attraction. It's something that they decided to clone. So that's value in and of itself. This is another Potter that's going to keep breaking down.
So I'm not going to count this towards the arguments at all, but like I have been following the previews like a hawk, and ever since Ministry like actually reopened with the standby line, I'm sure it's broken down from time to time, but it's not nearly as bad as it was. I think they are kind of ironing out the kinks in that.
Well, I hope so. No way, Kogias. No fucking way you haven't played Mario Kart.
No, we have a ruling.
I don't believe you.
Looks like LEB's voting for Tiki. Hey, she's showing to be impartial here, which is good.
That is true, yeah.
She's not letting her bias for the people's champ.
No,
That's just PerGron's Kylo Ren impression.
Yeah.
Alright.
No, Tiki picked the right one, even though I do hate Harry Potter with a passion. So.
Okay,
I
Jacob.
feel like you probably should have just picked Mario Kart or Donkey Kong just to counter me.
That probably would have actually worked out better for PerGron because he said one of the words.
Oh no. Is Donkey Kong one of the words?
No, J.K. Rowling was.
Oh, I had a feeling, man. I had a freaking feeling. I was avoiding it. Oh, my instinct was right.
So, yep. That means PerGron gets punished.
Oh, God.
So, PerGron, are you ready to receive your punishment?
You know what? I'm gonna take it on the chin because she is a piece of shit, and I'm glad I said it.
Well, putting that aside,
We're just out here celebrating and punishing me for telling the truth.
Dragon's choice. Dragon's choice. Dragon's choice. Dragon's
yes.
choice.
Dragon's choice. Dragon's choice.
No, she's not. But here we go.
Okay.
Dragon's choice.
All right. Let's see. Okay, we're gonna find out with my. You're gonna find it out momentarily. Okay, you know, actually, I'm just gonna announce it. I'm gonna just tell you right now. The next question, whatever it may be, I'm instructing Eli to pick the worst possible answer he can think of for both of you. Like, even keel, just the worst possible first thought that comes to mind.
Wait, for both of us?
I'm sorry, not for. Sorry, just for.
Yeah, I was like, what did I do?
No. So
This is Dragon's choice, Tiki. Dragon 2.
Sorry. I was thinking of just like what it would have been had just whoever said the word. That's what I had a pre-programmed kind of choice on that one. That's I was just going into what.
Got it.
Okay, sorry. So, but yeah, Eli, you're instructed to give PerGron the worst possible choice for what the next question is. Okay.
All right.
Do your worst.
Going easy on me on what I need to do.
Now, in conjunction with this, I'm going to try and find a question where that we can really just make it bad for PerGron.
Well, he deserves it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just let's insult his mother while we're at it. No, I'm kidding. So
I mean, seriously, he kind of deserves it.
Okay. Let's see. Just give me 1 sec here. All right. Okay, Jacob. I'm gonna ask you this. Should we go with the Muppet question, or should we go with the Minions question?
Oh, God.
Oh, there's the Minions question.
There is an interesting way we could go if we go with the Muppet question. But let's see if I don't even know what the Minion. I don't remember what I don't even know what the Muppet question is.
I don't either.
So, Dragon, I'm good. Well, it is Dragon. It is your choice, so I'll let you choose.
Great. Just anyway. Okay.
Your choice.
All right. Okay. Look, just because we're all mourning the loss of Muppet Vision.
Yeah.
Which Universal attraction, like Universal, not Epic Universe, which Universal attraction?
Wait. Does that include Universal Islands of Adventure or just Universal Studios Florida?
I'm going to say just Universal Studios
I
Florida.
thought you were putting me to the task on this.
Yeah, he is.
Oh, okay. I'm trying to follow, so.
Okay, so which Universal, as in purely Universal attraction, should get a Muppet overlay?
The Bourne Stuntacular.
Spectacular.
Yeah, so Tiki's got the Bourne Stuntacular.
And now Eli has to choose the worst possible answer for PerGron.
All right.
Okay. Worst possible answer. Okay. I guess something. Well, what the hey? It has to be something Harry Potter. So, I guess.
Your only option in that park would be Escape from Gringotts.
Then let's go with that.
All right.
Yeah. Escape from Gringotts.
All right. Oh, also, I'm going to add something to this, too. whatever. If PerGron gives any ride details or any like attraction details, he has to include Link Hogthrob.
Wow, that's a brutal Dragon's choice,
Yep.
man. You are not pulling punches.
Oh
This
no,
is
yeah,
Dragon's
so whatever.
Torment.
Also, it has to like primarily feature Link Hogthrob.
Oh my
Okay.
god. Oh Jesus Christ.
Like he's your
You
lead.
could have just done that without having Eli pick the attraction.
Well, yeah, but I wanted Eli to feel included.
All right, fair enough. That's nice. All right.
Yeah, thanks.
There you go.
Okay, so the Bourne Stuntacular is already like an impressive attraction, but it's not exactly the most rewritable as far as like once you've seen it, it's like, okay, that's cool. But imagine instead of just being on the run, Jason Bourne has to protect Miss Piggy. Oh, Jason! Oh, protect me, Jason! Protect me! And just add Miss Piggy. You don't need anyone else. It could be like Daffy and Porky and the Looney Tunes.
You want to know how to make Potter bearable? By putting a bear in it. Harry Potter Escape from Gringotts, featuring the Muppets, would genuinely be a hilarious take. I could absolutely see all of the characters Potterized. I could see Link Hogthrob as Bellatrix Lestrange, the main villain of the attraction, showing up at multiple points to terrify Barry Potter and his friends Rizzo the Rock.
Harry Potter with the rod. Oh my god, I love that.
Wow.
Harry Potter. Oh, that makes my life. Oh my god. Okay. Oh, I need to recover from that. Okay. Oh god. I think that just canonically, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. She who shall not be named would not allow it, for one. With Bourne, it's like Bourne is such like a kind of like a dated IP anyways. This would just like pump some juice into that attraction.
I feel like yours is too new. It's too brand new. It's really awesome. Where the Harry Potter Muppets has a lot of opportunity there for goofs and gags. Imagine Statler and Waldorf commenting on the dragon escape. That would be hilarious. They're the goblins, right?
All right, Jacob. Should I make this worse for PerGron?
Oh my god, leave the poor kid alone.
I mean, I don't see why not.
I want the coin.
Oh my god.
Did I say another word? What is going on right now?
No, you did. You actually didn't say it. You didn't say the word. But Dragon, okay. What do you? Okay, Dragon. I have the coin.
Yep, we're gonna let the coin decide this round.
Oh my god.
All right, so Dragon is again.
This is like excessive, dude.
This is
Well, you've been asking for this one for a while, Tiki. I figured
know,
you'd be eating popcorn during this.
This is like a monkey's paw situation.
All right, well, I guess just for the duration of the round, which would conclude with this. So let's flip the coin. Let's see what happens to Perry. Sparron, you're going to get tails.
okay.
Okay, okay. So if he gets tails, what happens?
If he gets tails, he
wins.
gets the point.
All right.
Yeah.
But if he gets heads, which
Yeah, like that, Tiki gets the point.
Oh man. All right.
there we go. Tiki goes to 3.
I also want to point out that I think Link Hogthrob would have been more funny as just the dragon in that ride.
It would have been, but I kind of want to see Link Hogthrob dressed like whatever the actress's name is.
Helena
Bonham Carter.
Yeah.
I'm going to add one more thing just to add insult to injury.
Oh God!
Are you
No,
No, that's nothing against him. I just want to like rub dirt in the wound here. I just want to let him know that had I actually voted, I would have given him the point.
all right.
Now we're good.
Wow. Okay.
Because I did think he made the more compelling argument, but I left it up to the coin.
That round was Dragon's choice, after all.
This is
There you go.
masochism at its finest.
Oh my god.
And
I think it's more sadism than masochism. But, you know.
It's sadism on Dragon's part, but masochism on yours.
Could you guys vamp for like 2 minutes? I have to use the bathroom really bad.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll
by
be
the
right
way,
back.
Kogias, I've seen all the Jason Bourne films. I think they're all pretty good. Even the one with what's his face, Hawkeye. That was a pretty good
Jeremy
one.
Renner.
Yeah, Jeremy Renner. Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm not a fan of action movies in general, so the
Really?
Bourne movies have not really ever been my thing.
Hey, Tiki.
I do really like the show, though, and you know what? I will vamp. I will give a special shout out to the cast members of that show because there's a pre-show in that show that's like 10 minutes long, and you have to stand in like a really, really crowded, like kind of like area, and I did not like that. It definitely messed with my social anxiety, with my claustrophobia, and with my feet because if I stand in one place for too long, my feet get like really, really sore. Like I can walk all the live long day, but just standing in place is what gets me. So I asked the cast member, I explained the situation, and they were like, "Oh yeah, sure, you can just like wait here in the lobby, and then when it's time to go into the actual show, you can go into the actual show and sit in the handicap area." And I'm like, "That is awesome! Thank you so much. You are amazingly accommodating."
That's good.
Love the Universal team members.
Yeah. Was there something you were going to say to Tiki Dragon?
Yes, Tiki, have you seen the trailer for Nobody 2?
No, I have not. I'll watch it from.
It's already out?
Well, a trailer.
Dude, this month has been a big month for trailers.
Yeah.
Not to mention the second trailer for Jurassic World Rebirth came out. So
Which God damn it! Why did the dinosaur designs in that movie have to look so genuinely cool? It's so frustrating.
You're an abusive cycle, my friend.
Yeah, I am. No shit, Dragon. That's about the oldest observation about me you could possibly make.
That's masochism.
He's like the junkie version of that kid from Mitchell's versus the Machines.
Oh my, yes.
we'd also gotten trailers for a new trailer for The Bad Guys 2, and finally the official trailer for Zootopia 2.
Yeah.
These are all facts.
Looking forward to both of those, but Bad Guys coming up too.
Okay, what's next?
Well, PerGron, you back?
Yes. Yeah.
Ah,
All right,
good.
All right. We don't have any other audience submissions yet, do we?
Not
Nope.
currently.
Okay.
Unless LEB or Kogias come up with another one.
Again, folks, we are open to audience submitted questions, which you will judge. If you have any you want to throw at us, okay.
And keep in mind the words are still active.
So only LEB is the only one who did a audience question. So if anybody who's still watching this has one, feel free to shout it out. So.
And then keep in mind the words are still active, and both of you can still be punished.
Yep. Just hope it doesn't fall on Dragon's Choice.
Yeah, we can see that.
Yeah.
I'm so glad I came up with that one when I did that.
Yeah. Okay. Which portal should the minions invade?
Oh no!
Our universe, naturally.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Super Nintendo World. We haven't talked about that one yet.
All right.
Because it's alone.
I'd imagine the minions pestering the hell out of Dracula at Dark Universe.
All right. Let them sort it out.
Well,
So, I mean, the minions, like, by and large, they're already kind of, like, horror movie adjacent, kind of. Because, like, you could see them being the minions of Dracula. I would not be surprised if that was one of the many gags in the Minions movie that I didn't actually watch. But just the minions going into Darkmoor and causing havoc, and Victoria Frankenstein having to essentially unleash all the monsters to deal with them. That would be just a fun overlay in its own right, dude.
You know what land the minions would really want to invade? They'd want to invade Super Nintendo World, and allow me to tell you why. Do you know what the one thing minions crave above all else? It's the same thing Donkey Kong craves above all else, and that's banana. So, absolutely, the minions would be taken over, and having them just stealing Donkey Kong's bananas and running away, that would be an amazing overlay. We'd be able to have Donkey Kong show up, chasing people, Mario Kart, the banana peels disappear.
I want to make a joke, but I don't want it to count towards my time, so I'll save it. Honestly, PerGron, literally everything that you just pitched just seems like corporate synergy. It's like, hey, minions, bananas. The minions are Illumination. Mario is Illumination. Bananas. Try our new Minion Banana Donkey Kong smoothie, only in Epic Universe.
And to that I say, Minions Banana, try our new Minion Banana Donkey Kong smoothie at Epic Universe. It fits. It's brilliant. It's perfect. It is cheesy. It's cheeky. The Minions absolutely will show up in a cameo in the second Mario movie. So why not throw them in there?
All right, and my joke was that now I really want like a new Donkey Kong Country platformer where the minions are just the straight up villains, like they're like gremlins.
The thing is, you said like the whole like Minion Donkey Kong banana smoothie like that was a bad thing.
Yeah.
but it sounds delicious.
Corporate though, anyways.
Everything is corporate. It's universal.
Eli, would you like to call this one?
Yeah, sure. I guess I might as well go with Tiki. So.
Another Tiki point.
Yep.
Brings it to 4-2.
Boy.
All right.
Yeah.
This could potentially be the final round.
Oh boy.
Okay, here's a quick draw question for you two. All right, so wait until I say both options. Okay. What was the better attraction? Jaws or King Kong Encounter?
Oh boy.
King Kong. And I know that's probably the unpopular pick between the two of them.
I've never experienced either of these rides and have no frame of reference.
Well, then you're in for quite a treat.
I guess Jaws.
I did technically experience the studio tour of King Kong. So
King Kong the Experience. That's with the animatronic, right? The backlot.
Yeah, with the tram.
Confrontation.
Yes, and Bob Berger, who was involved in the King Kong animatronic. So
Indeed.
All right.
So I honestly think most people probably would choose Jaws here. But, like, I think the thing about confrontation that really gets to me is just the sense of immersion, the sense of scale in that thing. I mean, it was so ahead of its time. Not only do you have the show-stopping animatronic, but you have full-fledged fire. You have a helicopter that crashes right in front of you. I didn't do confrontation, but I sure did the studio tour version, and I remember that helicopter, man. It makes an impact.
One of the most iconic properties in Universal's repertoire is Steven Spielberg's Jaws. The fact that they removed an attraction based around something so important to film history, something so important to people, something so important to the park's history is tragic. King Kong's not even really a Universal thing. It's kind of bounced around everywhere, so removing King Kong kind of makes sense, and they did have it on the studio tram, where Jaws having its own experience is such a brilliant concept.
I think the thing that separates King Kong from Jaws is just the fact that King Kong is a fully immersive dark ride, whereas Jaws is like, I'm sorry, but I've always thought it's essentially like a souped-up Jungle Cruise with a darker tone. That's what Jaws is.
Jaws, I'm assuming, had animatronic sharks in the water, which is pretty awesome. Jaws, I'm assuming, had Jaws theme music, which is famously pretty awesome. And Jaws is just an icon and a staple, and I think Universal is lesser without it.
Well, I mean, kind of process of elimination. I kind of have to go with the argument that actually argued their ride was better than the other one versus just talking about how cool the other ride was. So, Tiki gets the point.
All right.
And that brings the score to PerGron 2 and Tiki 5. That means Tiki wins.
Yeah, sometimes the speed round just kind of kicks you. Well thought, PerGron.
Yeah, I think if I had known anything about either of those attractions, I could have given a better fight.
I mean, to be fair, I kind of feel like as a theme park person, like those are like I've never been on either of those attractions either, but I know all about them.
I know nothing.
And then, like I said, I did have the advantage there that I did do the studio tour version of the King Kong ride back in the day. So
That's okay.
I mean, did you have fun?
like, it's honestly like I was traumatized as a kid, but I am so glad that I actually did it.
Well, Tiki,
I meant the debate, but okay.
Tiki, you're the Epic Universe guy, so it's suitable that you
That's
go for
true.
victory.
I definitely think out of all the WDW Magic people, at least, I am very much like the guy who's like, Epic Universe is going to be amazing. All right.
What about you, PerGron? How miserable are you right now?
4 out of 10. We're all
Okay.
right.
Well, at least on the lower end, so I mean that's kind of
Yeah.
good.
Doing all right.
All right.
It's okay. I'll be back with a vengeance for Animal Kingdom debates.
All right. And the other, I'll say the other 2 words now.
Okay.
Endgame
Yeah.
and Del Toro.
Oh, Del Toro. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, I guess it's a Monsters Land, yeah.
Mhm.
All right.
Obviously, Endgame because of the portals.
Uh-huh.
So,
All right. So, thanks for tuning in, everybody. What a ride, eh?
Yep.
All right. So we want to thank folks for tuning in. We had LEB, aka PerGron's #1 fan. We had Code Geass anime fan. We had Theme Park Priest, and well, we had Little Blue, but then he's right there. So you know,
Yes,
you
I
are.
first showed up in the comment section, but then had to take Royal Star's place.
That's what happened.
Yep.
Okay, and thank you, Rohit, wherever you may be. Hopefully, you're still in one piece.
Yeah, I hope you don't mind that. Yeah, I had to. Someone had to take your spot, Roth, as a judge.
yep.
He kept the seat warm.
Yeah.
He's still there. Okay, that's it, folks.
And who knows if Roeth would have gone with the same choices that I made on.
All right.
But that's okay.
Butterfly. All right. Have a good night, folks.
Good night. Until next time.
Portal close.